What's up, Yoon-Fam? It is I,
Mark Yoon.
On today's docket, we're going to be discussing somebody that I've wanted to discuss for a long time. Now, admittedly, I'm not too knowledgeable about this character, but I don't think that's to my own detriment. I think it's because of the fact that the game that he was playable in didn't really expand on too much of the lore as much as the other games. Of course, there was expansion in there, and of course, we're going to have stories, and there's going to be a museum mode and all that stuff as well. But I feel like this character still has a lot of mysterious aura around him, I guess you could say, and when it comes to him being included in Soul Calibur VII, then it's only going to re-bolster my desire for more information on the character, especially because Soul Calibur VI, being a reboot that it was, wipes the slate clean as lore-wise for this timeline when it comes to this character. And of course, I'm talking about ZWEI. Now, the things that I want to see from ZWEI, outside of more lore and more content with the character in general, is probably going to be his relationship with Amy, and if he does have a relationship with the Wolf Crone, some part of a discussion amongst Hilda or something, maybe even a team up for a short period of time. But personally, I do think we're going to see Viola and ZWEI show up in the beginning of Soul Calibur VII as enemies. Not of each other, but of the heroes. I think they're going to be partially antagonistic, not so much the fact because it's of their own free will, but I think maybe they're going to be under some kind of control of Soul Edge or Nightmare or Ishka-Acht or Alcohol or something akin to that, and they are definitely going to be part of the Shepherd and Swords. Now, which part of roles they play is probably the role of Sword is going to go to ZWEI, and the role of Shepherd is going to go to Viola. At some point, these characters are probably going to turn over to the good side, and if you want to call it the good side, whatever it is. But I think that before we get there, I want to see a couple of things. Now, this is just a bunch of my desires and wishes that I want to see in the story and about the character himself. The first thing is going to be his gameplay. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to bring back that werewolf-esque, stand-esque kind of fighting style that he had. Obviously, he used a sword as well, but that like werewolf thing was a little bit weird, and don't click off the video because of that alone. I don't think it was a bad thing. I think it was kind of fun and funky. Definitely changed things up for what we're used to in the series, but I'm not sure what they can do to explain that. And in the past, Soul Calibur just kind of thrown things at you without really much explanation, like Raphael being vampiric in nature, or something else other than that, like the replacement kids in 5 just popping up pretty much out of nowhere. There's a lot to that, but I think since they're being so lore heavy now and so forthright when it comes to the origin of things in this reboot and this new timeline, I think we're going to get at least an explanation for what it is. Now, it could very well be like something similar to Ishka-Acht, like an amalgamation of souls that were trapped within Soul Edge, maybe even animals that Nightmare has destroyed while he was on his path, you know, and rampaging and stuff like that. I have no idea. That would be just like a guess on my end, but it would be cool to find out like what that thing actually is. And I'm not talking about looking towards the past lore for any information on it there, because as we've seen with all the new characters and every new character that's coming out now, they're very different in some way, and there's explanation for those. Like when Huang showed up, the talismans were like throwing me for a loop, and I'm like, what the heck is this? But then they did a really good job of explaining like where they came from, like how he attained that power, what he uses it for, why he uses it. So I think we're going to get a similar thing when it comes to Viola and ZWEI. And that goes for any other new character that's going to be introduced in Soul Calibur VII as well. But besides his partnership with Viola, or supposed partnership, I kind of want to see this character do more. Like, I don't want him to just be a character that's just there. I want him to be a big part of the story, not an all-encompassing part, mind you, because I want still our other characters to get as much screen time as they usually do. But I want to see him a part of the story somehow, if that makes sense to you. I want to see, like, maybe some kind of mystery revealed, or even a mystery solved in that case, to give us some kind of inclination about where this character's heading and what his motivations actually are, instead of just being there because he's got a cool fighting style. Now, that's also good in of its own self. Like, I'm all for having new, fun character styles in the game. I'm always there for character creation and having the more fun things that you can do with those things. But with that being said, I think that like he should just do more. I do want to see him go over to the good side, but I kind of, there's a part of me that really wants him to stay bad. Like, I kind of want to see him and Viola have like this kind of falling out in their partnership, and she leaves and goes and does her own thing, and that's when she maybe bumps back into Raphael or something and has her old self reverted back, not so much to Amy, but to have her memories back or whatever kind of brainwashing that she's under be removed from her. But ZWEI just has this like aura about him that's like, I'm a badass, you know what I mean? And I want to see him like do stuff that way. Like, I think he could be a really cool character within the Shepherds and Swords. I think he might even be a character that could be like the top guy. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he like defeats Nightmare or something like that and gains his power or something. Like, we can go anywhere from here. Like, there are definite seeds of lore points and narration that are pointing in specific directions, but I mean specifically for this character, I think that like you can pretty much do anything since he hasn't been written yet. And I don't know exactly what I want to see out of him. Like, honestly, I've always been lukewarm on the character when it comes to hype. I didn't use him that often in 5. I used him enough, but it's not that I didn't use him because I didn't like him, don't get me wrong, because I think he's a cool character. I just didn't have much use for his fighting style outside of character creator. Using the creation engine, I believe I tried to make a character or two of him, but it really didn't go the way I wanted to, and I ended up like hardly using his character at all. I used Viola far more in character creator than I did ZWEI, but I hope that changes this time around. I hope either that they do give him that still stand thing, or maybe even like have him transform like we see with Grow or Killick. If they give him some kind of ability like that just to make the character more interesting, I think it'll draw me in, draw other people in, and really shine a light on the series that hasn't been there before. And it could bring in other characters from other fighting games, other players, I mean, that play other fighting games that want to see more of this kind of situation. I mean, there's not really much that I can say based on what I want to see from the character, because we haven't really gotten much in the way of Soul Calibur V from him in the first place. So I think that hopefully, I'm fairly confident that they can do something really cool with him, and their narration has really been on point in these last couple DLC chapters and these Soul Chronicles in the story. So no matter what he does in the story, I'm sure it's going to be good. But with that being said, guys, we're going to bring this video to a close. I want to hear in the comment section down below what you think about ZWEI. I know he's a fan favorite and a popular character. I just want to hear why, so you guys sound off about what you like about the character, what you think is cool about him, what you would like to see the character do in 7, and if you want to see them change anything, like what would you like to see changed. As always, any and all thoughts are always welcome in the comment section down below, or you can go in the description box and find the link to my Discord, and we're always having interesting and fun conversations over there on the Discord channel, and you're more than welcome to join. So with that being said, we're going to bring this video to a close, and as always, guys, I love it. Thank you.
And thank you.